Chapter 143. This magician is one of the 10 great evils of the world, he ranks fourth. With the name that mankind calls him Satyr, also because of his bizarre appearance, he is also called the Sand God, or the Sandstorm God. But suddenly one day, his temperament changed, he slaughtered half of the population in his country. At this time, he is negotiating with the divine tree, the first among the 10 great evils. The divine tree, with a doubtful look, asked Satyr, "Do you need my help?" Satyr calmly replied, "I hope to get a branch of your divine tree. I have a natural enemy. He has a dark attribute." After hearing the word dark, the divine tree immediately frowned. This is a very rare attribute. Among all the monsters that the divine tree has encountered, none have a dark attribute. Moreover, it seems that Satyr thinks that the divine tree has a divine attribute. Seeing the doubt in the eyes of the divine tree and his allies, Satyr continued to say, "The tide monster we encountered before is just a soul fragment of it." The golden ant heard this, and exclaimed, "What? A tide monster of thousands, but just a soul fragment of that dark entity, isn't that too scary?" Satyr sat down as if to tell a long story. He said, "The soul of darkness is really scary, not inferior to me. They infect and parasitize all the monsters on this sand, even all the matter on the sand." Satyr's eyes lit up with a chilling cold and continued, "It seems to be immortal." After hearing this, the divine tree was a bit stunned. He was thinking about the words that the system had told him, "Darkness will appear." It seems that everything is becoming clearer. All clues are gradually pointing to one thing: darkness. Satyr's eyes lit up with hope and said, "So, I need a weapon that suits me better, so I came to you. I need to kill it before it becomes stronger." The divine tree instinctively guarded and asked carefully, "Just because of this?" Satyr was a bit surprised. After a few seconds, he firmly said, "Yes." Rattle! The biochemical sound of the tree roots rolled up. A root branch grew, constantly twisting, as if being controlled by the divine tree to shape. Just after 1 minute, a tree root was released by the divine tree and thrown on the ground next to Satyr. It was said to ask for a tree branch, but the divine tree was always generous, giving him a sturdy purple root branch. Satyr immediately observed this new wooden staff. Holding up the staff immediately emitted a powerful purple light that frightened people. It was indeed a treasure in the world. The divine tree asked, "Is it enough?" Satyr immediately replied excitedly, even stuttering, "Enough. Enough." Satyr couldn't help but turn the new wooden staff sideways and look again. His sweat poured out like rain, his heart beat continuously, as if he wanted to jump out of his chest with excitement. He whispered, "Too much." After finishing the work, Satyr prepared his clothes, covered his face and left. But before leaving, he said one more thing to the divine tree. "One last thing. It seems that the sea may fluctuate. Something is happening that we don't know." Hearing this, the divine tree once again fell into wait, first on the mainland with the appearance of dragons and some king, then to the darkness of the desert, now to the ocean. Satyr said the last words, "Please take care, divine tree." Then, his back disappeared into the desert. The divine tree began to count his enemies, mankind. The mutant beast core of Australia, the turbulent sea, the dark matter of the desert. So there are a total of 4 strong enemy factions. The future will definitely be very tired and busy, need to be careful. The divine tree seemed a bit bored and said, "I should probably break through to the transcendent 4th order." That's right, he has been at the 3rd order for dozens of chapters, and we the loyal fans are really running out of patience. Roar! The terrifying roar of Nine Tails echoed. Has she broken through? Never before have we seen Nine Tails open her mouth and roar so loudly. Her fire spiritual power has reached its peak, still shining straight into the sky. On one side, the divine tree is still quietly observing. At this time, everyone also gathered around the divine tree to watch. Indeed, Nine Tails has successfully evolved. The divine flower is certain that Nine Tails has succeeded, because this spiritual power is too intense, completely different from before. Nine Tails stood in the thick fire, her eyes glowing red, her whole body burning, powerful spiritual power constantly pouring out. Looking at her condition at this time, it seems that she has become a bit larger, her body also stronger. It is Nine Tails who has successfully advanced to the second order. With 4 tails like 4 brilliant flames flickering, the surrounding matter is also melted by the heat of 9 tails. After seeing the 4 tails of 9 tails with his own eyes, the divine tree shouted excitedly, "Wow, 4 tails already, open the attribute interface." Immediately, the attribute table appeared, a golden attribute table, so luxurious, showing the dominance of the mentioned character. Let's also see the attributes of this fox. 9 tails transcendent second order, bloodline talent. Each advancement will extend a tail, and each tail will carry a terrifying talent. Special ability, Charm Eye. A dazzling eye is the treasure of the world, possessing a magical power of fascination. Flame control, able to control flames to a certain extent. Flame claw, a claw wrapped in flames carries an astonishing high temperature, capable of easily tearing through alloys. Flame feather coat, red hair ignites strands of flame, causing injury upon touch. Flame surge, stepping on flames can greatly increase speed, even capable of explosive acceleration. Sky control, borrowing the power of spiritual energy to surge into the sky, requires a great amount of spiritual energy. Origin of fire, an unending flame that burns without ceasing, fueled by spiritual energy. The divine tree was still attentively reading the attribute table. He couldn't help but marvel, indeed a creature of pure fire element, even the attribute table was burning along. 9 Tails said to the divine tree, "Not only is there an undying fire, but even my body is hard to destroy once the fire is lit. Unless the spiritual power is exhausted, otherwise I am eternally indestructible." At this point, 9 Tails, passionate about power, arrogance rose in her eyes and said, "This is the talent that this 4th tail brings to me. It seems that any beast that breaks through the second order is extremely excited, which is understandable, because the process from first to second is really hard. Just considering 9 Tails alone, it took nearly 3 weeks of soaking in the fire attribute to break through. Before that, the fox was not lazy at all, always participating in the battle to make contributions at Misty Mountain, so reaching the second is truly a wonderful thing beyond wonderful. Seeing this, the golden ant naturally felt a bit uncomfortable, and said, "Okay, I also have to advance to the third." Immediately, his close friend, the mutant cockroach, reminded him to tone it down. That's right, one should not be rude in front of 9 Tails, the consequences could be unpredictable. The divine tree held the dragon egg in his hand and thought, now that 9 Tails has successfully leveled up, the dragon egg has also been seized, there is no reason to stay here anymore. Although he didn't say it, the divine flower immediately guessed the divine tree's thoughts and immediately asked, "Divine tree, what should we do with the fire spirit stones here?" "That's right, this precious stone hasn't been used up yet. Leaving it would be too wasteful, but the divine tree is a talented leader with excellent intelligence. He has thought of a solution. Of course, sometimes he still has to rely on others to think for him, but this time he really has a way." The divine tree gave a cunning smile and said, "How can this simple matter trouble me?" But seeing this smile, the divine flower could only smile bitterly. This smile is really too terrifying. The sky is blue, below is a lush green forest. Just looking at it feels comfortable, unlike the desolate and deadly desert scene. Under those trees are the beasts enjoying life happily, but a strange pressure suddenly pressed down on this whole forest, making the beasts here feel extremely scared. All ran away in panic. In midair, a beast's foot gently stepped into space and glided, a space mastery technique of the high-level masters. That is 9 Tails. Is she using her tail? Or what is she using, to pull a huge super-large spirit stone, as big as a mountain? 9 Tails has just leveled up, so her strength is naturally abundant. She can do this heavy work easily. The mutant leopard, the golden ant and everyone else now knew, so the divine tree thought of this way, to let 9 Tails pull this huge fire spirit stone in the air. The group didn't say anything more, they sat quietly on the spirit stone and enjoyed the scenery throughout the journey. The divine tree looked at 9 Tails and instructed, "Take this fire spirit stone to Cheesy's place." Nine Tails immediately obeyed and navigated her movement. Cheesy had been waiting for everyone for a long time. He was standing on a high rock in the middle of the forest, and shouted loudly, "Divine Tree!" Then he grinned and waved. Cheesy presented his dragon egg. This dragon egg had a rather large crack on its body. Cheesy recounted everything to the Divine Tree. The Divine Tree did not expect that the Beast Corps of Australia had followed them there, so there is a high possibility that the remaining eggs also encountered a similar situation. The Divine Tree checked the spiritual power of these two eggs. Indeed, the dragon egg had a terrifyingly dense spiritual power. But with the cracked egg, although there was still spiritual power radiating, there was no sign of life, according to the Divine Tree's judgment. Perhaps this egg was already damaged. Although regretful, the Divine Tree felt lucky that there was still a healthy egg, definitely not to let anything happen to it. At the military hospital of the Federation, under the microscope, the doctors had discovered strange viruses. They seemed to be powerless before this virus. Two doctors chatted with each other. "We have found the cause of this disease, but with the current level of medicine, we still can't cure it." The other doctor said, "Do we really have to go ask for help from Misty Mountain?" Suddenly a nurse shouted, "Wait! You can't move around!" The two doctors were startled, then looked over. It was Xiaoling. She was also present in that battle, so she was also infected with this virus. Now her whole body was trembling. Her face was gloomy. It seemed that she had lost all her strength. Xiaoling tried to stand up, but she really couldn't move. She clung to the bed, bowed her head tiredly. Sweat poured out like rain and said in disappointment, "Enough. Depending on you, we won't be saved. Get ready, tomorrow morning we will set off to Misty Mountain." End of chapter 143.